This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Over 1,600 nurses at St. Vincent Hospital voting to strike. The Oregon Nurses Association will meet today to decide when that will happen. Why both sides say negotiations stalled.
The Supreme Court is now trying to find whoever leaked documents, suggesting the justices would overturn Roe v. Wade. More on that, plus how states all across the country are reacting with new legislation. That's coming up.
Orangutans don't have babies that often. Their interbirth interval is 8 to 9 years, so you just don't have orangutan babies very often.
But we did have one arrive just a few weeks ago. The first orangutan birth at the Oregon Zoo in more than 30 years. So this video is absolutely incredible. We're going to share it with you here throughout the morning. Baby's doing great. Mom's been fantastic.
Look at her kisses. Oh my
Should we
God.
keep talking here just so we can keep
Just
seeing more of this
shush.
video?
Shush.
We are celebrating moms all this week here on the Sunrise Show, and Kitcher is the mom that we're highlighting today. Again, that story coming up here at 5:15.
It's so sweet. Okay, how about something fun now? The Woodburn High School Mariachi Band. Yes, they are waking us up, you guys. This is not quiet. They are live in the KGW lobby as we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo today. They were the first high school mariachi band in all of Oregon, and they started 19 years ago. We're going to have much more from them all morning on Sunrise. Stick around.
So we have a content coordinator on the Sunrise Show, and she put this segment together. She thought maybe 2 or 3, maybe 5 at the most would show up. They have 18 kids out there.
Wow, you guys are amazing.
And we thought, well, can we put them outside? Because that'd be cool, but no way the neighbors would be okay with that music at this hour of the day. So they're packed into our lobby this morning.
Love it.
And we think it's possible they are the largest high school group ever to wake up at 4 in the morning and go be live on TV this early.
They were here early.
That's crazy.
This is early. They were here like an hour ago.
Exactly.
All right, it's going to be fun. Here's a look at our weather map, pointing out that a lot of what you're seeing is not yet being reported as reaching the ground. But clearly rain overall is starting to pick up, and this will become a steady rain morning as we get into the heart of the morning commute. So far, nothing out of PDX along the Columbia, 54 degrees. Here's a look at the bus stop. By the time we get rolling into the morning hours and the bus stop hours, it will be raining. 52, steady rain at noon, 55. And by golly, it's still raining when the kids get out of school today, and we'll be in the 50s at that time. Back to you.
Rob, thank you. We begin this morning with a development in the ongoing saga between nurses and management at Providence St. Vincent. Last night, the nurses union said their members voted in favor of a strike. Devin Haskins is joining us this morning. Devin, this vote for striking not going to happen immediately, right?
Yeah, Brenda, that's correct. The nurses union says they'll meet with their members today to prepare and begin preparing for a strike. So far, no date has been set, though, for that strike to begin. If it happens, 1,600 frontline nurses would walk out. At issue here, according to the nurses union, they're protesting alleged unfair labor practices and demand a new contract. The nurses union saying in a statement after announcing the vote that says in part nurses at St. Vincent are taking a stand to defend their rights. And we've worked hard to come to a common ground, but Providence refuses to compromise. The vote, which was taken over the course of the last 2 weeks, has been coming to a head for months. In mid-March, members held an informational picket outside the hospital. The hospital sent out their own statement saying that they've been trying to come to terms for more than 7 months. They call this another delay tactic being used during negotiations. The hospital says that the latest attempt to delay meaningful discussion, a move that only serves to prevent our valued nurses from receiving the substantial pay raises and expanded benefits that they deserve. If or when a strike happens, Oregon's Employee Relations Board says that you must give your employer a 10-day notice before going on strike. Nina, Drew.
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll have more on that story coming up in our next half hour. But right now, we want to get to what's been the biggest national story this week, the leaked Supreme Court draft opinion and the potential overturning of Roe versus Wade. So here's the latest. Chief Justice John Roberts has now asked the Supreme Court Marshal to find out who's responsible for that leak.
But legal experts say even if caught, that person unlikely to face prosecution if they had legitimate access to that document. Protests continued outside the Supreme Court building in D.C. yesterday. Police put up barriers right away Tuesday night when that draft was leaked. While we wait for the final opinion of the court, which may come in several months, some states are already making moves of their own. On Tuesday, Oklahoma's governor signed one of the strictest abortion laws in the country, while New Jersey codified a woman's right to an abortion into state law. President Biden is criticizing the draft, saying a reversal on abortion may be just the beginning.
What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
NBC analysts estimate at least 26 states will likely institute outright abortion bans should Roe be overturned.
So we just showed you that video of yesterday's protests in D.C. Of course, we also had protests right here in downtown Portland 2 nights ago. They've been described as mostly peaceful, but you can see from this video here some of the damage that was done during the marches later in the night. A Starbucks downtown was vandalized, and a small grocery store and cafe called the Portland Exchange had its windows smashed. That store is connected to a new Hilton-owned hotel. We talked to one man downtown who said he thinks Portland police are really limited in what they can do to stop this type of criminal behavior.
It just seems to me that the citizens of Portland, if they had a change of mind, could support their police, and the police didn't have to worry about getting their face slapped. They could take care of the problem.
Portland police didn't give us any comments about Tuesday night's criminal activity, but we know police did make one arrest.
Here are some of the other headlines that we're tracking for you this morning. Portland police report a shooting last night near Grand Avenue and MLK Boulevard. Just after 8:30, a woman was injured and taken to the hospital, but there's no word on her condition. Officers say they arrested the suspect. PPB says it'll release more information later this morning. We have an update on the Salmon Creek Little League team that had its riding lawnmower stolen last month. Police arrested Christopher O'Connor for the crime. He's in the Clark County Jail this morning, charged with theft. He's also wanted for theft here in Multnomah County and has 5 warrants out for his arrest. Still no sign, though, of the Little League's lawnmower, which is worth about $750. And Portland police are asking for help identifying the suspect in an arson and bias crime. It happened at the Muslim Community Center on North Vancouver Avenue Tuesday around 7 p.m. Surveillance cameras recorded someone pouring a flammable liquid on the back of the building, then trying to light it on fire. It didn't ignite, so the suspect tried a second time, causing some minor damage. If you recognize this suspect, you're asked to contact Portland police. And those are some of your morning headlines.
Okay, time to talk fire season, because experts around the Northwest expecting it to be a high-risk year, and they say now is the time to start taking those steps to make sure your property is safe. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri gets important advice from an arborist.
When you think of wildfires, you probably think of fires burning throughout the central and eastern side of the state in more rural areas. But over the last few years, we've seen fires start in more urban areas. And there are tips homeowners can take to make sure their property is safe as we head into wildfire season. Under a canopy of trees in this southwest Portland neighborhood,
this stem here is completely dead, and you can see the other half of it on the ground over there.
there's a problem some homeowners might overlook.
So you get a wild area with the invasive ivy on it, and then the brambles. The brambles of this and the ivy and the leaf debris tend to be kind of flammable.
Jeff Moore is an arborist with Urban Forest Pro. He says it's important for homeowners to take a good look at what's around their house as we start to head into the warm and dry summer months.
You want to get, 10 or 15 feet around the structure to have no flammables that would, light up the side of the siding. The siding is all nice and dry and kennelly-like.
Moore says it's not just the spaces on the side and front of your house. Also consider what's above.
And inspect your power lines to make sure that they're not going to drop huge trees on them, and notifying the proper people to take care of those.
And here's another good example of what you don't want to do, leaving old dead branches and piles of debris right by your house.
And this brambly section right here next to a road like this is going to be kind of a fire hazard if something were to come off of the road. And so that defendable space is to clear this area.
Moore says taking care of the small things right now.
So here's a nice example of a piece of property that is being maintained and
could easily save you and your home from disaster. In Portland, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
Rod, I was talking to you during that report about the report itself, so I don't know if I kept you from the information, but I feel like we're getting a couple of different messages now and again. Obviously, we just talked about this being a high-risk season coming up here in the Northwest, but we've also talked about how we've had this cool, wet weather to help things out.
To be clear, the outlooks for the fire season do put us in a high-risk area, much of the Northwest, but the other part of the story, to Drew's point, is we're pushing the start of fire season back to June, where the last couple of years it started in May. Now, if you want to be an optimist, typically the shorter the overall period of fire season, that gives you some hope that maybe it's not going to be that bad. But the main concerns look to be from about mid-July into August. That's when most of the outlooks start to pump some heat our way. So we'll see how that turns out this year. Yeah. Here's a look at satellite picture. You can see our weather system right here. The surface front comes in this afternoon. We're just now starting to see rain pick up. This is not as widespread as this shows. I'm still finding some areas saying, no, we don't have a raindrop yet, but it is picking up. So really, any moment now, this is going to turn into nothing but steady rain being reported across our area. The front comes in this afternoon, so we get into the PM hours, and you'll notice a period where the rain rates pick up. It's raining more heavily, and the winds will pick up from the southwest, bouncing maybe 10 to 25 miles per hour. This is 10:30, just widespread steady rain. It is all rain over a government camp today. The snow level will be around 5,000 feet or maybe a little bit higher than that. Here we are at 1:30, and the brighter yellow colors, that's the heavier rain rate starting to pop as that front comes in. Now the front clears, and by 5 o'clock, here we are at 5:30, that rain shield, the steady rain, is out of here, and there will be some scattered showers, I believe, around this evening. But if you have evening plans, maybe you're in a spot where you don't have any rain. So again, we start to dry out late day into this evening. But then early tomorrow morning, here she comes again. And tomorrow's a bit of a different animal, if you will. See the bright colors of 5:30. Tomorrow is more of a stormy sky kind of day. We get back into the potential of some thunderstorms with some small hail. That's tomorrow. Here are today's rain potential, about a half of an inch in Tillamook, Portland, and Salem. Some models give the valley up to 3/4 of an inch. So certainly a wet day overall expected. Here are the numbers. 54 in Portland, 61 out in the Dalles. We do have clouds all areas, and this afternoon rain picks up in central and eastern Oregon as well. 7-day forecast, we're in the 50s, rain at times. Tomorrow stormy. There might be some stormy weather Saturday as well. There's our next dry spot Tuesday and Wednesday. Here we go. Rain's back.
All right, we're going to have more Rod in a few minutes, but first, we're talking moms.
She's always been a very intense mother, dragging the pups around, being kind of rough with them, but she's proven herself. She is a very strict mom, but she knows what she's doing.
The she in this story is Tilly the river otter, who has spent the last 3 years caring for a pair of orphaned otters. We're going to check in on Tilly and a couple of the zoo's other all-star moms when our week-long look ahead to Mother's Day continues right after this.